Montford is one of the most truly walkable neighborhoods in the Asheville area, and you know that's rare. And it is also one of the easiest to walk to and from downtown, which is also rare. Hi, this is elenakovrigin with ℂ𝕠𝕟𝕼 Realty, powered by eXp Realty here in Asheville, North Carolina. Welcome back to my channel about all things Asheville, what it's like to live, breathe, go to school, have baby, work, rent, different neighborhoods, different parts of town, different towns around Asheville. If you're new here and you want to follow along, subscribe and hit a little bell to get notified every time I make a new video. If you need help relocating to the Asheville area, just like dozens of people did who reached out to me via this channel, my team and I contact information is down in the description. Let's get on a call, connect via email, or schedule a Zoom meeting. Montford is a historic neighborhood in Asheville, North Carolina that is located just north of downtown Asheville. I personally consider Montford as one of North Asheville neighborhoods, although some people think it's more of a downtown neighborhood. If you look at the map, it is located just north of downtown on the other side of highway. Montford is one of the top 3 neighborhoods that I suggest checking out to those who are looking for something very unique, something that does not have cookie cutter feel, something that has character, very established, historic, and walkable. Not just walkable where you walk in circles in the neighborhood, but where you can actually walk to a different place from, like a restaurant, coffee shop, store, parks, schools, downtown, and places like that. Shoot me a message if you want to learn about the other 2 neighborhoods that I recommend, or subscribe to this channel, hit a little bell to get notified every time I make a new video, including an upcoming video about top 3 most unique neighborhoods in Asheville, North Carolina. If you are a history buff, or you just appreciate the fact that Montford is on the historic registry, there's a ton of historic homes in Montford, I recommend stopping at the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce/Visitor Center that is actually located in Montford. It is one of the first buildings that you see as you go into Montford from downtown or from the highway. A visitor center has those trolley tours that I personally took probably, I want to say 4 or 5 times. And one of the first areas that they go to and go through on the tour is Montford. Highly recommend. I actually went on one just a few days ago. Most of those tours are hop on, hop off, and there are 10, I believe 10 or 11 spots where you can hop on, hop off. I'll let you take a listen and a little sneak peek into those historic trolley tours.
The Wellcome Preservation Society told us about a year ago that so far they have verified 74 houses in Montford. Second largest historic district in the state is right here. She would sit under that in a thunderstorm and paint trees and flowers in the neighborhood, including a big, beautiful beech tree that used to be just on the other side of those columns. Her painting of it, however, today is in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York in the permanent collection. 59 women, including Zelda, are locked in their rooms for safety, and a fire breaks out in one of the 2 kitchens downstairs. Zelda and 8 others perished that night. These steps over here on the left led to that building, and this is where she would get in and out of the taxi. This is where she would sit and paint the autumn leaves. Then she would climb her steps and go back into the building that stood right there on that grassy spot, and that is where Zelda died.
When Montford first sought recognition as a National Register Historic District, the move was primarily a protective one. As the development of Asheville resurged after the Great Depression, Montford was no longer the neighborhood of choice for young families. Later, as a commercial development began to encroach, irreplaceable Victorian homes were demolished one after another. Total 21 structures were lost. Fortunately, property owners and other citizens saw the collective significance of our more than 600 residences and other structures, and small group banded together to win recognition for the Montford Historic District. Its rich history included being home to several boarding houses and sanitariums for tuberculosis, mental disorders, and other ailments. Not to take you too deep into the history and why there are so many gorgeous historic homes that have these massive front wraparound porches where people actually slept during summertime. because they would come here, they would come to Asheville as a resort town. They would come to Asheville for its supposedly healing properties in the air, and supposedly it was very good to treat tuberculosis back then. These days, a number of these historic, beautiful, gorgeous, humongous homes were converted into bed and breakfast. I think there's about a dozen bed and breakfasts in Montford these days, and some of them located on Montford Avenue, which is the main vein of Montford. As you get to Montford from downtown or from the highway, from the exit, you get to Montford Avenue first. And so you quickly start getting an idea what it's like to live in Montford. Montford Avenue is a wide road with parking on both sides, walkable, with sidewalks on both sides, gorgeous homes with gorgeous, beautiful gardens, landscaping in the front yards. So it's a true pleasure to even drive around, walk around Montford, and take a look at those amazing, beautiful historic homes. A lot of these historic homes were sold for $1 million plus, close to $2 million in recent years. And I always tell people that these homes like that, are for enthusiasts. Not only you should be able and need to be able to appreciate the fact that these are historic homes, but also people who are buying these homes, they need to be able to have quite a bit of extra cash to restore them, to keep up with them, because those are 100-plus-year-old houses. So naturally, things come up. Although there's, of course, a debate that homes were built a lot better back in the day than they are now. Still, electrical, HVAC, some of these houses don't have central air conditioning or central heating, roof, windows, exterior, interior, all that needs to be fixed at some point, replaced. And with historic homes, you can't just do whatever you want. If you live in a historic neighborhood like Montford and in one of those protected historic homes, you must follow Montford Historic District Design Review Standards. And let me tell you, there's over 100 pages in this document. I'm gonna share a link to it in the description so you can check it out. When it comes to fixing something, replacing something, minor work, major renovations, you can't just do whatever you want. The purpose of this document is, of course, to protect the character of the neighborhood and its historic heritage. There are so many cool, grand, gorgeous homes in Montford. A lot of them are located, like I said, along Montford Avenue. One of my favorite, however, is a bit tucked away, but it's one of the most unique homes there. It doesn't look huge from the outside, but it's actually 3,500 square feet in size, almost 3,500 square feet in size. Keyhole house was recently sold for $80,000 over asking. They had multiple offers. Previously to the sale, it was a rental. Can you believe this? If you're thinking to yourselves, well, gosh, I do want to live in Montford. I like the idea of being able to walk to downtown, to coffee shops, restaurants, and places like that. But I'm not sure if I want to deal with a historic home. That's one. And then I do not have $1 million plus to pay for a house that I need to then also pour a lot more money to keep it up to date or bring it up to speed. Don't worry. Median sales price in Montford is actually in the low 700s. It is kind of skewed by very high priced homes that are historic, older homes, larger homes. And on the other hand, newer or brand new homes that are cheaper on a smaller lot. They don't have all the character that other Montford homes offer, as well as very old. I'm talking about, again, 100-plus-year-old houses that would need a lot of work. So houses like this one was sold for $380,000, and it is only 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms. Was built in 1925, so it's 99-year-old house. Only 1,100 square feet in size. Does not have any AC. It has a heat pump according to the MLS. So, and just from the photos, you can see it's a full gut job, or it will need a lot of work to bring it up to speed. So you're probably gonna spend another 100-200 grand to make it more livable, to have modern amenities and modern features that you're probably all used to. So this is an example of an older home that is a lot cheaper. It is located in Montford, and there's a number of newer homes or brand new homes in Montford. A lot of very established neighborhoods in the area that been there for a while, that have character, that have very established feel to them, have those little pocket neighborhoods where, you know, it was vacant land and it's been there for a while, maybe before the developers or builders didn't think much of it, or maybe it was part of a bigger property and then it was subdivided. And so those pocket neighborhoods pop up in those established neighborhoods like Montford. A couple of years ago, when one of my clients were buying this house, it was a newer house. And when the inspector came to check it out and to look at it, he was surprised because back in the day, like 20 years ago, he used to be a real estate agent, and he said that whole area used to be just like a huge ravine, huge overgrown part of Montford that nobody wanted to deal with because it was steep on both sides. It was just kind of like not very appealing. And now there's a whole neighborhood of brand new or newer houses. They are super close to downtown. You can walk to downtown, you can walk to schools, you can walk to Chamber of Commerce or Visitor Center, you can walk to ℂ𝕠𝕟𝕟𝕼, which is one of the best neighborhood restaurants in the area. Have your coffee. I meet clients there a lot. So again, if you are somebody who wants to be in Montford but don't want to deal with historic homes, older homes that will need work, that will need more money poured into them, or you just want a newer house, there are options in Montford. An example of one of the newer homes that was built in one of those pocket neighborhoods just recently. Jag Builders had this little pocket neighborhood in the back part of Montford. So that is, of course, another option beside older homes that might need a lot of work. So what are all the places that you can walk to in Montford? So Riverside Cemetery is one of them, and I know it's kind of odd one, but it is one of the oldest cemeteries in the area. It is a resting place to about 13,000 people and counting, including famous people like an author, Thomas Wolfe, O. Henry, and many others. You can actually go and check it out. It is open every day during daytime hours. Montford Park Players is another place that I actually covered in my very first video about Montford. You can check it out right here. I'm gonna also link it in the description. It is one of the first videos that I've ever made, so it's not the best one. But Montford Park Players has free theater all summer long. It is free. It is first come, first serve, so you can just show up, make a small donation or not, find a little spot in the grassy area and enjoy Shakespeare in the park. Few parks in Montford have tennis courts, playgrounds, and the best part is that you don't even need to drive there. You can just take a stroll along tree-lined streets and get yourself to one of the parks in Montford. There are also several restaurants right there in Montford. ℂ𝕠𝕟𝕟𝕼 is the closest to downtown and closest to the visitor center. So if you are coming to check it out, or if you just go into a visitor center, you can just have lunch, breakfast, or dinner, or go for coffee at ℂ𝕠𝕠𝕟𝕼. It is locally owned and operated. It uses a lot of local produce and ingredients. It's good. I love to meet people, clients there, or just go there by myself. Tall John's is another great restaurant that is probably like half a mile from ℂ𝕠𝕠𝕟𝕼, located also on Montford Avenue. I'm not sure what the deal with that place is, but there used to be different restaurants in that place. Most recent one was Chiesa. I think I'm saying it right. It used to be an Italian restaurant there. Now it's Tall John's, a neighborhood favorite. 9 Mile is another half a mile or a mile down the road on Montford Avenue. Is a Caribbean inspired and in all the best Asheville traditions, vegetarian friendly restaurant and bar. And there's a little convenience store, grocery store on the corner there right next by 9 Mile. It's not much, but it is a little neighborhood convenience store. Although not a place to visit casually, I would say, Greek Orthodox Church is also located in Montford, and boy, do I love their Greek festivals that they hold there each year. We love going there. It's such a great community feel, such a great family atmosphere, and it just allows you to get a taste for a different culture. A great way to connect to Montford's present and its residents is Montford Porch Fest. Montford Porch Fest is an annual neighborhood porch crawl. Consists of bands playing various types of music on porches all throughout Montford. How cool is that? You can just go from house to house and enjoy some live music on porches of those beautiful homes. See, Montford has a huge sense of community, a huge community of like-minded people. I will say, again, no fluff. My goal is to share everything, good, bad, and ugly. Some parts of Montford are located closer to downtown, right? Because the only thing that separates Montford from downtown is a little bridge, and you can easily walk to downtown across that bridge, the sidewalks, and you will be right in downtown. So there can be some foot traffic coming from downtown to that especially that first part of Montford. Recently, 30-something cars had their windows smashed overnight. I'm not sure if they caught whoever did that. A lot of homes in Montford, whether they're older or newer, do not have garages, especially back in the day. Like 100 years ago, people didn't have cars and they didn't see the need for big garages, 2-3 car or even 1-car garage. And so you see, as you drive, there's a ton of cars parked on the side of the street. And from my understanding, most of the cars that were damaged were parked alongside Montford Avenue on that first part, closer to downtown. So that's one. Number two, some parts of Montford, especially the backside of Montford, are kind of sort of very close to the highway, and you can actually get highway noise. Even if you don't see a highway, you're kind of looking out at the woods, you're not seeing anything, but you can hear the highway. And if you were to look at the map, you see that highway is like half a mile from the house. So that makes sense. Again, people who want to live there, especially if they want to live in a newer home that is located in one of those pocket neighborhoods or older homes, it doesn't matter. That is just kind of part of the deal of living in Montford. Traffic noise, being close to downtown, being subject to, you know, some crazy stuff it's not happening all the time, but it just happened recently. And this is what one of my friends who actually lives there in Montford said. The car thing sucked, but I don't even really need a car, and that is the price you pay for living in the city. And then he added, I live in one of the oldest houses in Asheville, and I can walk to something like 75 restaurants. He was talking, and he was including restaurants in downtown Asheville. I can walk to the river, I can walk to work, I can walk to my doctor, I can walk to my dentist, I can walk to the gym, I can walk to both of my kids' schools. Another friend of mine who used to live in Montford added that she liked how close it is to town. Weirdly, the thing that bothered me most was driving the narrow roads. To drive through Montford, you always are playing chicken with the cars going the opposite way while you trying to get around parked cars. Again, the thing about houses not having garages, barely having or not having any parking spots at all, so you have to park on the street. Also, the lots are small depending on where you are, and so if you have weird neighbors like we did, that can feel a little confining. The intersection to get out of Montford has gotten a lot congested with the hotels, but overall it's a nice place to live. You can see those hotels as you drive to Montford or from Montford. They are right on the other side of the bridge in downtown. Without having to go all the way to the highway, you can easily get to other parts of North Asheville and other neighborhoods of North Asheville for shopping and whatever that might be, just through the side roads. Because Montford and the whole North Asheville resembles the grid more than anything here in the area. So you can just turn on one of those side roads and get to other parts of North Asheville super quick and super easy. And if Montford calls your name, Or if you want to learn more about what it's like to live in Montford or any other part of Asheville, any other neighborhood of Asheville, reach out to me and my team. Our contact information is down in the description. Be on the lookout for a video about top 3 most unique neighborhoods in Asheville, and I will see you next time.